Back again for a little bit is State Senator Ryan Gatti. Hey, Mr. Ryan, how are you this morning?
Great. How are y'all doing this morning?
Well, I kind of called this sort of tongue-in-cheek. It's the Ryan Gatti sort of pray in school kind of sort of bill.
Right.
And so what is the status? First of all, if anybody is just kind of coming to the party late about this bill.
It's SB 512, right?
Explain to folks what it is, how you think this can avoid the inevitable lawsuits, and the status of, well, everything.
Well, Senate Bill 512 is a result of the lawsuits that were filed in my district. They were filed against Webster Parish and Bossier Parish, and y'all know I represent Bossier, Webster, Claiborne, and Bienville. But Bossier and Webster, the students prayed so much, and the teachers were praying with them so much that they got a nice little citation from the federal government thanking them. Not really a commendation, but they, when I was growing up, guys, my dad always said, look, if y'all gonna get in trouble, it better be for something good. And we never really found anything good to get in trouble for, but these kids have. I mean, these coaches have. These coaches are the dad, the uncle to a lot of their, the kids they coach, and they pray with them. And they get them through some really tough stuff with bullying.
Pardon me, Ryan. Are you implying? Are you saying that the teachers that were praying with that they were purposely flaunting the law?
No, I think that's just their nature up here. I mean, when you live in a city with a 300-foot cross and churches on every corner, that's the kind of people that are going to end up working in the school system. People that have grown up in the area. And they don't leave their religion at the schoolhouse gate when they come in the morning.
So what's the Ryan Gatti plan? How are you gonna fix this?
Well, I'll tell you, we were praying about this a lot with a group of students and really talking it through. And y'all, when you look at these cases over the last 60 or 70 years, it all started with one little student. His name was Ellery Schimpf. And his teacher was walking him through Thoreau's books on civil disobedience. And at his school, every day they said the Lord's Prayer, they read a Bible verse, and they opened the Bible up, and that's how they started their day. Well, he said he didn't like that. So one day he stood up and he put his Quran on the table, and he wasn't Muslim. He said, I object to everything we're doing. And that was the shot heard around the world. And because of him, we do not have prayer in school anymore. His parents were very upset that the teachers were interfering with their right to teach him religion. And that's what the courts have said. The courts have said parents hold the right and don't interfere with the parents' right at all. The parents' right is sacrosanct, and we all agree with that.
Ryan, your bill will allow teachers, coaches to pray with students during the workday. This is a big change from what current law is. And Mike Johnson will be the first to tell you it's going to get challenged.
How are you going to pull this one off there, kid?
Oh, well, right. I think we've had people from both sides look at this permission slip and say, wow, this changes everything. We don't like it. We don't think the courts are going to like it. And I'll tell you this, when several folks got with the school board behind closed doors and they said, here's what you have to do, Bossier Parish School Board. And they've been called the buckle of the Bible Belt. School board, here's what you have to do. And this is why the coaches have called me. They're furious. Coaches cannot. This is the new handbook. Imagine having this handbook at KEEL. Imagine having this in your handbook, subject to being disciplined at Calumet or Margaritaville or any handbook that says if people around you are praying, you coach, teacher, principal. You can't bow your head. You cannot close your eyes. You cannot kneel, and you can't show any reverence for the prayer at all. Now that's gone way too far.
Your bill would require that parents of every student in this particular class sign a permission slip saying it's okay for my kid's teacher to pray with them.
Right, because I think what the courts have always said consistently is the parent's right to pour into that child is sacrosanct, and nobody can mess with that. And they assume that we don't want our coaches praying with our kids. All right? And so we looked at some schools, and we talked to some principals, and we talked to some PTA members. We've talked to parents all over the state. And y'all know there are some schools down in South Louisiana where everybody goes to Mass at the same time on the same Sunday, and they all go to school together Monday through Friday, the teachers, the coaches, the principal, even the parents and the kids. But Monday through Friday, they're under a gag order. They cannot talk about their faith. with those children. And what our bill does is it's a paradigm shift. We're not saying the school board should have the right to force the kids to pray, because that's wrong. That's unconstitutional. What this bill says is it starts with the parent. And if the parent signs a permission slip that says, hey, you can pray with my daughter, I waive my right to ever sue you for ever doing something so horrible as praying with my kid.
You nasty self, yeah.
Yeah, we feel like, based on, it's not a top-down law, which is illegal. It's a bottom-up. We start with the parent who has the right. And people say, Ryan, you can't waive that kind of constitutional right. That's unprecedented. But you know what? If you've ever watched Hawaii Five-0 or Matlock, let me tell you something. We let people who are drunk, we let people who have just murdered someone waive their 4th, 5th, and 6th Amendment rights. And they just sign a little card that says, use what I say against me. I don't want a lawyer. Search my car.
Ryan,
those are big. Those are huge rights. So what happens is, if the parent signs this card or sends in a permission slip, then the coach, the teacher, or whomever can pray with their child specifically. But what caught on during debate, and this is a big deal, and people need to know about this, is that if all 50 kids on the football team send in this permission slip, how can the coach violate the law? If all the parents have agreed and said, hey, look, we're okay with it. Now, I'll tell you this is the rule, and a lot of people are misconstruing this. If there's 50 kids on the football team and only 49 send this in, then the coach knows he cannot lead prayer.
Mm-hmm.
He can't bow his head. He can't kneel down. But we're balancing in this bill the coach's First Amendment rights with the parents' First Amendment rights. That's never been done before. It's always been, you can't bow your head, you can't kneel, and that's the law. Well, it shouldn't be the law.